I'll start with the prayer. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नारायण समारंभात् शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम् सदाशिव समारंभात् शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम्. हरि ओम. With the blessings of our Sadguru Shri Prabhuji, we are going to start our session 9 of Ashtavakra group. Welcome to all the JJs for today's session. And today's topic is the target audience approach. The same Vedantic Prakriyas will be presented or demonstrated through two target audience. I think Sharavananji has requested for only one target audience. So I think we'll begin with Sharavananji, and Gayatriji will be the timer. Oh, sorry, I forgot timing. 6 minutes. Yeah, 3 plus 3. So Sharavananji, you will have only 3 minutes. If you are giving
Jyoti, I don't have the timer here.
I can do it. Sharavan will do it.
Yeah, somebody is doing already. Yeah.
Wait. When you start only, you really okay.
Spotlight aadmele.
Yeah, I will do the spotlight. I think better I make it as speaker, no? That will be better. Yeah. You have made it 3.2. 3 minutes. You have taken.
By the time I'll start.
Okay. You want to share screen or anything?
Actually, I'm going to keep it as my reference, but not sharing because it's not in a shareable format.
You can start.
Yeah.
Sharavananji.
Hari Om all. So here is a small attempt to explain Srishti Pravesha with a Prakriya. And this is going to be for a grown-up. So the way I start is for any creation, you need a creator and a material, which is well easily understood by everyone, right? And the third one is, for any creation, there needs to be a purpose, right? That purpose defines how you are going to create, what you are going to create. For example, goldsmith as a creator creates jewelry, right? And here the material is going to be gold, and the purpose is to wear, to make something beautiful, right? And in every creation, that creator is also there, if not physically. For example, you take the case of jewelry. Every jewelry which is made has the intelligence of that creator in that, right? Every artwork has that artist intelligence there. Without them, it's not, you cannot remove the artist or the creator from that. Right? Now, with this background, I'm going to apply this knowledge theory to the creation of world, right? So world is the creation, and it will have a creator whom we call as God, right? And the material is God's very own power itself, right? To create this creation. Now, what will be the purpose? Here, the purpose, you need a purpose, right? The purpose is like for God to experience self itself, right? How does this creation happen? Now, any creation, it's very easily it becomes an object. But if the purpose is to experience self, the person, the subject has to enter the object. For example, if one wants to experience a doctor, the person has to become a doctor to experience a doctor. You cannot see it, right? And when you have to experience and when you have to enter, how do you play that role perfectly? You have to forget who you are so that like you can play the role perfectly. So here, so the God creating the world with the human being, right? To experience enters the creation, and like the costume that, like for a doctor there is a costume. Here the God has the costume of this body, enters with the body, right? And how does he forget so that he can play the role perfectly? There comes the mind to forget the real nature, right? And the same mind is he also ensures that the same mind is used to experience and reach back as well, right? Now, how, so having come, having taken the role, how do you experience, how do you realize finally, right? You need a motivation for anything. Here the motivation is basically finally what happens is like, or the push is the limitations of this body, the suffering one goes through, right? If you are all, if everything is fine, there's not going to be any experience, right? It's just laid back, right? And then having realized that, oh, okay, so there is some discomfort, there's something wrong. You need a guide also. That guide, that map is a guru who appears to guide this very own mind, the seeker of the journey, and gives the map to finally take that. Finally, that's how God, from being one to start with, enters, creates creation, enters the creation, forgets by introducing mind so that he can play the role perfectly, and then using the same mind and having the motivation and a guru to again go back to realize the full self. That's how I would explain Srishti and Pravesha, and I just want to complete that as well. Very well.
Thank you, Sharavanji. You really attempted to do this. I think 3 minutes is too short a time.
Stop.
But yeah, that's okay. I think as Vaniji said, we are actually experimenting with this, how it goes, Anta. It's really fine. And yeah, we can have self-evaluation. And Vaniji, do we have this Purva Pakshi asking question also?
Yeah, we could. Why not? Purva
Because when
Pakshi
it
can
assign
take-
this, so anybody open, it's open, like anybody can ask.
Purva Pakshi can ask, especially from the angle of that particular target group.
Top target group. Yeah, as though
The
we are
child,
the.
how the child will ask a
Yeah.
question, or you can
Yeah.
put yourself in that place, and you're
So it's
invited
open. Anyway, our Purva Pakshi is present here, our great Purva Pakshi.
Yes, Gayatri ji is there
Definitely,
always.
she has to ask. And Sarvananji, you want to do self-evaluation and then open for question?
Yeah, I did
You have done
struggle.
evaluation before presentation. You have written.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, I definitely struggled. This I feel it's till now whatever I've been doing is reading and presenting, but here we are being creative, and I can see that creative is not that easy. I somehow was not getting convinced with this developing Prakriya. To me it felt like there is this line between explaining versus Prakriya approach. Right. So I felt like I was going towards explaining. That was one side. The other thing is, yeah, I needed help. I reached out to Shravanji to see like how I can approach, and like got some help, but still, I think I got the help, but I couldn't develop something like lift the hand or make some people do, right. This is more like a question and answer, and it was easy with the adult. I tried with the child, the answers were going everywhere, and I felt like real child, or a normal child who's not in the elite program, it's not easy to finish within a limited time. It takes a lot more time to pull them, because I had to try to pull them to the direction I want to take. It was a lot more challenging. So this is a very humble attempt, and
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how
You have mentioned about it. Yeah, true. Okay, thank you, Sharvanji. So anybody has a question for Sharvanji, Gayatri, or anybody? It's open. Even Maniji may ask. His topic was Srishti Pravesha only. And the target audience was, I think, adult, na?
Yeah, adult. Yeah.
Adult,
So-
those who have a Vedanta background or
No,
Actually, adult is a very general group.
yeah, you should
So
mention.
even there we need to specify.
yeah, that's why I didn't include any of the terminologies that we usually use. I just said God and creation world, and yeah, I stayed there.
So
Layperson.
Shravan, from this Srishti Pravesa, the most recent thing I'm trying to compare with is that Kantara movie. So is it something like what happened in the is that what is actually Srishti Pravesa, or what the Srishti Pravesa what you're talking is different, and what happens to some of these people who do that Bhuta Kola, etc., because they get, is that also a kind of what pravesha, that what is exactly that pravesha?
Yeah. So, so there also we see it. It's very much possible, or like uh, uh, at least in this in the devotional side, we do believe the divine power does enter through the body, and man does whatever we see. Right.
So here, what I feel is
but
when
that is uh, I feel like it somewhere like the person drops the ego or the ego self, and is able to connect to the higher power. But here, what we are saying is like, how did Srishti creation happen? And what is like, who is there finally? Right? The Pravesha part of it, right? There was only one to start with, and like the creation happened. And for the creation to operate with such consciousness, the same creator has to enter. But then, like when the creator entered, like how is the creator able to play the role of this jiva, right? And that is by like getting the costume, which is not perfect, and having the mind,
no.
which
Sarvananji, my context is different. So
the Kantara one you're saying.
no. What I'm saying is when God creates and enters it, he forgets himself.
Hmm.
Whereas something that is happening in Kantara, when the God enters the person, or does he forget himself, or is he using that instrument consciously, or that part is what I was comparing.
Yeah.
I think it's okay if it's a very vague question, because I exactly don't know.
No, I think
What happened. Yeah.
I think we can have others also to pitch in, like if
Yeah.
anybody has any input on this.
I think that is called Avesha.
Okay.
Avesha, where temporary possession is there, or just that person goes to an alternate state of consciousness temporarily and then comes back. So I don't think it can be compared to Srishti Pravesha Prakriya, is what I feel.
So when this avesha happens, so that the divine enters, right? So does the divine forget itself? No, right?
Divine in the sense, how do you call it divine? Because we are talking more about Brahman, absolute consciousness.
But divine is always there, right? Even there, the divine is there.
We are not talking about something coming and going here, right? We are only talking about reflected consciousness getting reflected, and that reflected consciousness identifying wrongly with the body, mind, and intellect.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So
Thank you.
Saravanan ji very very apt comparison
Okay.
of the actor and who immerses himself in the role and forgets his true identity.
Yes.
And like you said, you used only generic terminology. Except for saying Srishti Pravesha Prakriya, you didn't really bring in any Vedantic terminology. So someone who's not familiar with Vedanta can relate to it. So all that part was really good. But probably you should have tried to challenge yourself a little more in trying to address two target groups.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that is the purpose of the exercise.
Definitely.
When through Prabhuji's grace, I'm sure everybody will be getting opportunities to go and speak to different kinds of audiences. Then it is good that if we can practice how
Yeah.
to
Yeah. We need
address
to
those
try
audiences.
it.
Just to give a very simple Prakriya example, Swami Shivananda of Divine Life Society, when he was interacting with very small children, maybe age group of 4, 5, something like that. So to help them to understand that God is everywhere. Somewhat like Srishti Pravesha Prakriya, you can say. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. So he had come up with a very simple song. A, B, C, D, Govinda. 1, 2, 3, 4, Govinda. Table, chair, Govinda. Bus, car, Govinda. So we used to sing this when my daughters were very young. And we would go in a car, we would normally sing songs, bhajan songs. So they would make up on the way while going, they'll say, Marageda Govinda. So they didn't know much English at that time. So whatever they saw, they will say, and they'll say Govinda. And then they'll say, that is also God, this is also God, everything is God. So they don't need a detailed explanation many times. They're intuitively able to connect.
Yeah.
If you provide the framework and the activity.
Yeah.
So
That's struggle. Yeah. Yeah.
that is also a Prakriya only, though it is very simple.
Okay.
It is so simple that you will not think, oh, what is so great about it? Maybe they're just saying it mechanically. But I used to feel that they're intuitively connecting, actually. While they were saying that there is a divine element in that. So,
Okay.
the Prakriya that we propose here can also be quite simple when we are thinking of different target groups. So we needn't think it should be something very elaborate or how to come up with it. That itself can become a block.
Yeah.
Do I have enough creativity to come up with this? It's so complex. This concept is so complex. How to make someone understand? Maybe you can just bring some, give some clay to children and they can ask them to make something. Then you start asking who made it. What was then they themselves will come up with the intelligent cause and material cause. In a very simple way, their own simple way, they'll come up with it. Then you can start asking about universe.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that that entire Vedantic concept has to be explained and immediately they need to grasp the whole thing. Sometimes it unfolds inside one petal at a time, and then it sinks in. Just like all of us, we are doing Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, in spite of all the Prakriyas, everything, it is still sinking in. So it's an attempt. Every Prakriya will take you a little closer, one step. Sometimes it may be that big implosion happens. May not always also.
Agree. Yeah. Definitely we'll been thinking we'll try again and see if I can record it as well.
Okay.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, Vaniji. Actually, you have given off so many hints, like tips today, when they have actually...
She had given it in the earlier session, would have
the examples, things what you have given are really tips. Very nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sharavanji and Vaniji. So
I didn't want to say anything earlier because I don't want to,
you wanted people to
curb
just
the creativity or try to channelize it in some direction. It should come out for each person. So it is
Correct.
better, it is allowed. to do that.
Okay, so the next speaker will be Shobana, and she has chosen the topic of Trigunas with Itihasa, and her target audiences would be children and homemakers. And Sharvananji, you will keep the timing? Yeah. Shobanaji, you can start. You are on mute. Sharvananji, you keep, total.
Yeah, I gave extra time.
1 second, there is something showing.
Yeah, 3 plus 3, correct. Correct.
Yeah. Hari Om, everybody. So today my target audience is children first. Hi children, can you see this picture here? Can you see?
Little far.
Can you see something? Yes. There are some.
Not very clearly.
Yeah. Here?
Yeah.
Ravana.
So, who are these people? First one is Ravana, Dashakanta. Then, what do we see here? We see his brother, Kumbhakarna. Then, who is this? Our lovable Sri Ramachandra. So, who are these people? Why did I show them to you here? So, we are going to talk about these three to four characters and learn something. Learn some few words. So, these characters we all know come in the story of Rama, which is called as Ramayana, right? So, how did Ramayana happen? Rama married Sita. Then he went to Vanavasa for 14 years. Towards the end of Vanavasa, Sita was taken away by one Rakshasa, whom we call as Ravana. He had 10 heads, as shown in the figure. Now, this Ravana was a very strong man. That's what he used to think. Then Ravana, with all his muscles, all the time he wanted to do was fight wars, kill people, and do away with people who did not like him or opposed him. So always he wanted to show his power and said, I am the best. He had a huge ego. Now, this kind of character, when we see in people, we call it as Rajasic character. What do we call? Rajasic. Yes. Then, when we come to Kumbhakarna, you saw the huge pot belly there, right? What does that indicate? He had only very thin arms and legs. He was stomping and coming. Right? You must have seen in the movies of Ramayana also. So they show this character as huge figure with a huge belly. So this man did not want to do anything. He was a very lazy person. When we see him on the screen, we laugh, right? The way he walks and comes. So he's a very lazy guy. He is not bothered about what to do and what not to do. His brother said, you come, you do this. He did that and went back to 6 months of sleep. When he was awake, he used to do whatever he was told and simply eat and go back to sleep. Such people are there among us also, who are very lazy, don't want to do anything, just laze around and just be like that. Such people are called as tamasic people, very lazy. So, first Rajasic, next tamasic. Now, we have seen the picture of Sri Ramachandra, beautiful, lovable person. We love Rama because the way he talks is so nice. He loves everybody. He loved everything, every small thing, every stone, every small squirrel also he took into his arms and he blessed it. He always followed what his father said or parents said. Then he always respected his gurus. When he went with Vishwamitra, he exactly did what Vishwamitra Maharshi told him. He didn't go against. So we all love him. We love to be like him. We go to the temples. So many times we read Ramayana, we watch Ramayana all the time on TV. Right? We love this person who is not only an avatara, whom we all can think of being like. Such people are there among us also. So these people are called as sattvic. So what all did we learn today? We learned 3 terms: rajasic, tamasic, and sattvic. Will you be able to remember this? Next time we come back and do more stories, you should be able to tell me. All right? See you then. Bye. Hari Om. So this was the first part of it. And I'll just take a small break, drink some water, and continue with the next.
Shobhanaji, your 6 minutes is actually got over. So you are getting grace time now.
Yeah, my throat is very. This I will take very little time. So, Hari Om to all my friends. We all know Ramayana. Ramayana has been a basis of cultural and living historical backgrounds of all Indians. And to this date, we follow Rama and we seek his blessings, go to the temple. We all remember Ayodhya, where Balarama has been installed again. So here, the main characters in the Ramayana, Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Hanuman, and the other side we have Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, and all the Rakshasa Ganas. Now, when we look at the Rakshasas, we have something distinct in them. They all want power, they want to be the best, and they want to rule everywhere. They want everybody to listen to them. Many of us have this character in us. When we go for work, we see these things unfold in front of us. So we can call this as Rajasic Guna, where we want to be the best and get a good name and show off. This Guna relates to the body-mind complex, which pampers our ego and makes us do the materialistic, get into that cycle of karma. The ahankara, Rajasic Guna represents the ahankara. Then we come to tamasic. There are many of us who just want to take things easy and sit back and say, okay, I want to live this way, sit like this and not do much. Just go. We are living, okay, we live. And we also enjoy others being troubled and get happy over that. So that kind of guna, we can take it as tamasic guna, represented by Kumbhakarna, Ravana's younger brother, who slept 6 months, and 6 months he made merry. So all of you know about this. It's just that we need to relate it now that we are in the path of Atmajyotis. And finally, Sri Ramachandra, who was an avatara, and also being an avatara, he didn't say, I have all the powers and I can do anything. He was the most humble human being or avatar of God, who tread on earth. He is known for his humility, love, compassion, and all those qualities which we want in us. So, if we can imbibe this and tread the sattvic path and drop body, mind, intellect complex. So, Nanu Nanimbudu Nanalla, Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla, Sachidananda, Machivanana Nani, Shivomam, Shivomam, Shivomam. Hari.
Well, thank you, Shobhanaji. How much was the time exceeded? I think 2 minutes, 2 plus exceeded.
3 plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was really a good attempt. And you started off for the kids, addressing kids. Okay, yeah, you can go for self-evaluation, and in the meanwhile, people can be ready with some questions for Shobhanaji.
Timing was the issue because those three things have to be driven. Children need to be,
Yeah.
focused on a little bit. So that took a little time. And I had to shorten the second part. I could have elaborated because of the time constraint.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
thank you.
enjoyed doing it. Very, very underprepared, actually.
Yeah, we could see that being like a counselor or a lecturer at a college, we could see that in your presentation. So, question, Shravanji, do you have any question? No, no questions. So, Vaniji will either ask question or do evaluation.
So that was nicely done, Shobhana. What was the name of the Prakriya?
It was Itihasa, Trigunas through Itihasa.
Okay. So there is a Prakriya like that, or you are explaining the Vedantic truth through this?
Yes, it was the Prakriya. I took the help of Itihasa to put across the Trigunas.
Okay. It was nicely done for children. You used pictures and your language was simple. It was more like storytelling. And when you came to adults, it got a little more technical and it related more to day-to-day examples along with Itihasa. So it was good. You're naturally, I think, because as a counselor, you're empathetic, like Satya said. So you're able to relate to the needs of each target group. So it's a good start.
Thank you.
Very good start.
Voice. Mute, Satya.
You're muted, Satyaj.
Oh, sorry. The next speaker will be Shravanji, and he has chosen Avastatraya Prakriya, and the target audience is a suspense for us. Wait. Mute again. We are forgetting to unmute.
Shravanji, you're muted.
Sorry, actually, I'm making up the target audience right now. Yeah,
Okay.
the first group is going to be, scientifically minded young children. Okay. The Prakriya here is about Avastatra Prakriya. So let me start.
Yeah.
So today morning, I had a discussion with a young boy who was saying that I don't know if there's really God, because whatever I see, people say you can't understand it. You can't see him. So if there is nobody to see, is there really a God, or these people are all making it up? So the thought I have got is only one, that what he's seeing, what you see any place, is an effect of something that is there behind. So you can only see something that moves, the changing one, but you can't see the changeless. So even if you see that, you don't recognize it. For example, the simplest thing is, if you really go on a flight, what do you see? Oh, you see mountains, you see some plains, and you see a valley. But what are you really seeing? All you're seeing is land, earth. The fact is, earth is not very prominent to us. What we see is only the variations, the changing thing. The changeless we can't see. But it is the changeless background which is what we call as God. So you might say, well, God is doing a lot of things. You say he will do that, he will do this. Whatever is happening, it is God who's doing. If somebody is helping you, the one who is behind that person who's helping and the person who is harming you, in both of them, it is the same nature. It's same human nature that is there, or it is the same consciousness which is there. So what you say God is not something that you cannot understand. It is what you don't recognize. So there are several states of God. We see the states, but we don't see the underlying substance, and therefore we miss God. So don't look for God as something that can be visible. It is something invisible, which is including you. So this is what probably we can, I can't see the timer, but anyway. So this is what is a brief introduction to a person who is, as a young person who is scientifically minded and doesn't believe in God. Okay. So now let's go to another audience. Now, this one is really an adult person who's interested in Vedanta and who now wants to know what is really consciousness. So if I am conscious, the question is, if I am conscious, what is consciousness in me? Now, we know that we are conscious, and there are three conscious states in us. One is the awake state. The other one is the dream state. And thirdly, the deep sleep state. We know that all these three states are quite different or appear to be different. The person in awake state is not there in sleep state and in dream sleep state, and their experiences seem to be completely different. But if you look closer, in all the things, there is a common factor. The common factor is called I. I am the one who is there awake. I am the one who saw the dream, and I am the one who's asleep. You can't see somebody else asleep, got asleep. You are aware of the sleep as another state of yours. So what is common is this I. So in order to explain that, is there a way? The only way is to know that this state is not similar to the three states, not exactly these three states, but not something different from these states. This state is the I state, or the conscious state, or the awareness state, which is what is called Brahman. Because of this state or Atman, this is the state which is appearing as Jiva here, awake with consciousness or awareness with external awareness. In dream state, it is internal awareness and no awareness in deep sleep state. But the person who's capable of all this awareness, who is the awareness, whether he is aware or not, that is one, and that is Brahman. Hari Om.
Wow, Shravanji, you really made it on dot. 3 minutes for the first audience and another 3 minutes for the next. Exactly 6 minutes. Very nice. So, yeah, self-evaluation and any questions can be asked. Any
So,
questions?
self-evaluation is that I started preparation just a few hours back when I saw that it was today. So I had to choose one Prakriya quickly. I chose this. And at that time, I didn't know how to, I forgot the two things. But anyway, I thought I'll just make up. So I know I haven't put much effort. But and also the time was such that the details or nothing could be explained. It's just that I did whatever I can. So any questions further, I'm happy.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody has any question?
So, Shravanji, the first one is different from the second one because first one you talked about answering God, talking about who is God. Well, the second one was the Avastatraya.
The first one is also Avastatraya in the sense that people look at, see, the basic of Avastatraya is, Avastha is a state. State is something which has some characteristics. Now, based on characteristics, you determine a state. But the whole purport of Avastatraya is not these avasthas, not these states, but what is behind the states? What is the basis of the states? Now, the first question was, I can't see God. God. So it is not the changeless, but it is not the changing what you see. You can't see God because he's the changeless. So to bring that concept, that one was used. The second one was somebody who knew about Avastatraya, who was trying to understand who is the Atman, then for them using Avastha. So the focus is not to explain Avastatraya, but to use it for different audiences.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shravanji. Shravanji also. So Vaniji will do the evaluation part now.
Yeah, that was nicely done. The first one was quite subtle. I like the example about looking down from the plane, because we do forget that everything is finally earth. We are focusing on the terrain changing. So that part was nice. And we may not really need too much preparation for reaching out to different target audiences. Many times you're there in front of that person, you don't always have time to prepare. Some colleague at work may ask you a question, or your in a social gathering, something will happen, somebody will start asking you some questions. So you have to sort of come into alignment with that person's way of looking at things and wing it. So we need not think that this always requires a lot of preparation and forethought. It is good if we can put in forethought, that is fine. But many times that opportunity doesn't come.
Yeah.
You are there, that question is there, that person is asking you something or wants something explained, and you have to come up with the right examples there on the spot. So not having prior preparation is also a good way of
like it happened in my case right now. Yeah.
It is a It's a very good way of approaching in a way, because many times that's how it happens. So, good show.
True, true. And
True,
for
Vaniji.
Shravan, I think it is always like that, most of the time.
But not condoning laziness.
When we talk to our people around, the helpers who come to our house, and when we talk to them, we do go down to that level and explain things. It does happen in everyday life. Yes.
Or sometimes go up to that level also.
Yes, up to that level also. If, see, the concepts, the words that we use also, we may change. And
My maid, actually, if she is not feeling well, she says, Jeevak Husharillama.
Abba.
She literally says that, Jeevak Husharillama. Naan chenagidini, Jeevak Husharilla.
Wow.
So where? She's somewhere.
And Vaniji, can we call this as the extension of what we did, that Vedanta in 2 minutes? Instant, takshna. Yaro eno keldaga.
It could be also, it could happen like that in real life.
Agbahudu. As you said, it
Yeah.
doesn't need preparation
It
annavaga.
very often happens, does happen like that in real
Correct,
life.
correct, correct.
But it's good if you can give some thought to it, so that it is there at the background of your mind and you can draw on that. Plus, it is good to have the ability to respond spontaneously.
Correct.
Both are
Yeah.
we
Okay.
learn also in the process.
definitely.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Vaniji. So the last speaker for today is Purnima ji, and she has chosen the topic Prajnanam Brahma. And she will only tell about the target audience.
Hari Om. So I'll make an attempt at this. So the other day I met a friend of mine, that is, she is my contemporary, and she's a professor of botany, and she teaches in a premier college in Bangalore. I went to her department, and on the wall, in her department, everywhere she had little species of little bottles of rare flowers from across the world, all sorts of flowers. And she's a braggart. So the moment she saw me, she jumped into explanation. You know what? I had gone to Africa. I got this flower from there. You know what? I had gone there. I got this flower from. Then next week I'm going to Srinagar. I'm going to collect another flower, and I want to show my students. Will you come with me? I said, no, I don't want to come anywhere. I don't have to come anywhere to know something. So she said, what do you mean? I said, okay, you explain a flower to me. Your subject is botany, so explain a flower to me. So she had a rose, rose in her vase, and she took the rose and she started explaining. See, this is called a stem, this is called a petal, this is called a sepal, this is called something. All the parts of the flower she started explaining. So I said, then I took the flower from her and I removed one petal. I kept on throwing everything, and finally there was nothing in my hand. And then I told her, now you explain to me, what is the flower? She said, what? You have destroyed the flower? I said, no, I'm sure you can explain a flower. She said, yes, why not? I'll explain a flower. And then there was a white board on her, in the department, and she just drew the flower like that. So I said, see, you don't have to go anywhere to know something, because the flower was not there physically in front of you, but it was in your memory. You know about it. And when you see something and you close your eyes, the image will always be there in front of you, because it's already recorded in your memory. So, knowledge is all. Knowledge is everything. Prajnanam Brahma. Nothing exists apart from your knowledge. If you see something, you have knowledge of it. If you say something, you have knowledge of it. Every little object in the entire universe, you can identify only because of awareness and the knowledge. That is why it is said that Prajnana is Brahma. So that was what I explained to my botanist friend. Then the next day, I came across a group of children, high school kids, who were all sitting, and they were ragging a little boy. They were ragging him. I said, why are you ragging this poor fellow? And he was crying. He was really upset. The other boy, he was really upset, and he was crying very hard. So I asked him, what's happening? So they started making fun of this boy. Arey, this fellow doesn't know anything. Yesterday we got our marks cards. This fellow has failed in all the subjects, science, physics, science, social science, English, Kannada, math, everything he's got less than minimum marks also. He doesn't have anything. So he's dumb boy. So they were ragging him. Cruel only children. And so even more hardly that fellow started crying. Then I said, oh, he doesn't know math. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know that. What do you know? So one fellow said, I am a topper in English. I know literature. Then another fellow said, I know I am a topper in civics. I love, I read a lot about geography and civics and geography, and I'm a topper in that. Like this, each and every boy started bragging about what he knew best. Then this fellow, that fellow who had failed all the subjects, he started crying even more hard. Then I asked him, okay, you tell me, what do you know? You may not know English or physics or botany or chemistry. What do you know? So that was, he said, then he perked up. He said, I can fix a flat tire. I can fix a flat tire. My father owns a puncture shop. I know how to fix a flat tire. See, I told the boys, you know something. He knows something. He also knows something. He also knows something. What is common between you all? You know. Nobody is higher or lower here because all of us know something. That knowing itself is God. So nobody is higher or lower, isn't it? So when I said that, they all looked at each other and probably they understood what was happening. He said, everybody on earth knows something or other. They might not know one specific thing, but generally knowledge is there for everyone. So that knowledge itself is God. So they all agreed that knowledge was indeed the common factor for everything, and they were very happy. Hari Om, thank you. Very short. So that was my...
Yeah, very nice, Purnimaji. Great. You finished it within the time, and also I guess Vaniji is also in all smiles. I think something different way of approaching and very nice. Felt very good. We were thinking it's too less a time, but you proved it wrong. I think you took just 2.5 minutes each.
Conscious about overshooting time, so I kind of
very nice, very nice. Yeah, if anything is there to say about self-evaluation, you can.
Same thing, I didn't prepare. Like it was all this morning only, all the thoughts started flowing. But yeah, that's something I knew I wanted to take some topics. So I had put Prajnanam Brahma 1 month ago. And yeah, it just came. I don't know how effective it was.
Very nice. Any questions can be asked, and otherwise, Vaniji.
Vaniji.
Very, very effective, Purnima. Very nice. In both cases, you have brought out Prajnanam Brahma very well. Talking to your friend who was a scientist, botanist, and then talking to a group of children bullying a child. So both places it has come out well.
Okay.
Probably if you're actually talking to those people, it may turn out a bit different, but I'm sure it will still be effective.
Yeah.
These are anyway imaginary situations we are coming.
And depends on their response also.
Correct, what they ask, how
Dynamic
they respond.
situation, yeah.
It will change.
Yes.
Very, very nice. And the way of narrating was also completely, it captured everybody's attention. We were able to connect very effortlessly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Interesting exercises coming our way. Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to share as a last piece.
Thank you.
Ramana Maharshi, how he taught what is meditation to a small boy. So one small boy, maybe something like 6 years old, he was visiting Ramanashram with his parents. And then they went and approached the darshan hall. They're seeing everybody. Many people are sitting with closed eyes. And so he said, what are they doing, Amma? What are they meditating? What is meditation? You teach me also meditation. They're standing at the doorway of the darshan hall. So the parents don't know. How will they explain? First of all, he's a small boy. How to explain? No, we'll tell you later. So they go inside. Now the boy is not satisfied. So Bhagwan used to like children, and sometimes he would say, come sit on my lap. So he called that boy close by. So that boy went and said, I have a question, Bhagwan. Can you tell me what is meditation? So Bhagwan didn't say, you're too young. You can't understand if I tell you. He didn't say anything. He said, okay, sit down. So he sat. So in the ashram, there was a custom that people will sometimes bring prasad and distribute. It can be anything that they've cooked in their house. So somebody came with dosas and chutney. So anything that is brought will be distributed equally to everyone, including Bhagwan. No special treatment to anyone. So Bhagwan asked them to give one dosa to the boy also, dosa chutney distributed. Then he told that boy, see, you should eat this dosa in the way in which I tell you. Keep watching me. Anytime I may say, I will move my index finger and I will say, So when I say that, you should stop eating and your leaf should also be empty. Till then, you pace yourself. Can you do that? So the boy says yes. So the exercise begins. He starts eating the dosa and he's keep watching Bhagwan, eating, watching, eating. And then Bhagwan, of course, is waiting for him to almost finish. One piece is there. Then Bhagwan very mercifully doesn't say anything beforehand. He'll say, So last piece he'll put into his mouth. Plate is empty and he has finished. So then Bhagwan asks him, when you were eating, were you watching me? Was most of your attention focused on me, or was it focused on the dosa and the act of eating the dosa? So the boy said, mostly I was watching you, Bhagwan, because I don't know when you will say. And marginally my attention was on dosa and eating the dosa because I'm so used to doing it. I do it every day, more or less. I eat. So Bhagwan said, that is meditation. If you just think of God, always in the background of your mind, God is powering. Eating also, God's energy is flowing. That is why I'm able to eat. So keep your focus on that energy that is powering you, whatever activity you're doing, and also do the activity. That is meditation. Did you understand? So boy said, yeah, I understood, Bhagwan, thank you. He got up and went out to play. So small prakriya, 5-minute prakriya, Bhagwan did for that small boy. Spontaneous on the spot. So we find that scattered through lives of all great teachers is there. And I'm sure each one of us will come up with wonderful prakriyas as we go along.
True.
Prabhuji's grace is there, and everybody has wonderful insight into Vedanta. So it is going to happen, and today's session was excellent.
Yeah, and what Vaniji has given also are very good examples, like very nice. It's just that we have to just be there. More, I think it's more to do with a little bit of creativity also.
And getting over the block that this is very complex. How will I explain?
Yes.
It is not actually complex. It is very simple. Prabhuji is proving it to us again and again.
Yes.
How simple it is.
Yes.
So that you just remove that block, it happens.
True.
That's all. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vaniji, for great insights and inputs today. And we have come to the end of today's session. I think we can close with a prayer, and about the next session, we can talk after stopping the recording. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमया। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अन्तर्ज्योतिः बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परा ज्योतिरेव ज्योतिः स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः शिवोऽस्म्यहम्। ನಾನೆಂಬುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಸಚಿದಾನಂದ ಆತ್ಮ ಶಿವನಾನು ನಾನೇ, ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ. ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದರ್ಶನಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದರ್ಶನಂ ಸತ್ಯದರ್ಶನಂ ಸತ್ಯದರ್ಶನಂ. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಹರಿ ಓಂ ತತ್ಸತ್. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ಚರಣಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು.